New week, new weekend, everything new, everything fresh. But the conversation remains. Of course, let's be real, we are bringing you the biggest conversation. And of course, today, I'm privileged to host ladies in black and gentlemen in red.
Very interesting.
You can see that it is going to be fire. The red shows fire.
And the black.
The black is going to absorb.
It's going to absorb.
Yes. But you can see the room is hot.
Let's take it.
Yeah, it's hot. Dr. C here, a winemaker. I hope you guys are buying. Oh, I don't just hope. My bank account is actually showing.
Hey.
The company's bank account. Yes, people are buying wine.
Exactly.
Samantha Wines. You know, I need to sell.
Exactly.
Housing levy is here, so.
Financial Act.
And the Finance Act. In light of that, you guys. Huh?
Yeah, and Maria, I'm so happy to be here. You know, when last week I left here, I went and became sick. Like, very sick.
The conversation made you sick?
No, not the conversation. I was actually, I got sick. Yesterday is the first time I woke up and I was like, wow, now I'm feeling better. At least. It was more of a flu for my entire family, but we are all good now. So for the schools I've gone and for the works I've gone to work. And we are very grateful that we've been healed. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm sitting next to Simon.
Yes, indeed. I'm Simon says, I'm healthy. I'm healthy, energetic, and alive. And I'm the voice that you need to actually make your brand come alive. That's me, Simon says, the content creator here on Let's Be Real. Yes, indeed. Where? So this panel is it, because I know it's going to be a heavy one. Yeah. So we open up a little bottle of Samantha's Whites at least, and we actually now get, at least now make sure, because their glasses are full, why don't make ours full? Isn't that right?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Half empty.
It's half full.
Feel free.
Just
Half
for
full.
me.
Optimistic CEO.
Let's be. I know, especially because you're leading us with this finance thing.
No, mine is half empty because
I can understand.
Yeah.
Half empty. No, I prefer to say it's half full.
It's half.
Let's send
let's be optimistic.
Into the universe.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I will tell us this thing that you guys
let me just come to the discussion.
Tell us.
This week, of course, the President William Samoei Ruto signed the Finance Act. And the Finance Act is, it has been a long and a protracted battle between people who are thinking that it shouldn't be signed. And that means that the housing levy is now a tax. And your salary, 1.5%, surely should be going to the government. I have no problem with the tax. I have the problem with how we are conducting the whole of this process. But before I give my humble opinion, Dr. C, how many people are you paying for?
For this tax.
Actually, you know, as an employer,
yes,
I've been an employer for the last 20 plus years. Not only employees pay, but even as an employer, I have to pay for all those people.
Yes.
A certain percentage. And I'm just like, why don't you just say you've increased the corporate tax by 40%? Then you just get your money. Because, well, I'm on record as having said that we need to build what's the word?
Network.
Not networks, social
capital.
No, when everyone, nobody is being left behind. We need to be a little bit socialist in terms of, there's a word I use.
Safety net.
Safety net, social safety net. And housing is one of them. And in all fairness, I saw they said if you're 50 plus and an informal sector, you don't pay. If you live in the village and you can show you have a title deed, you don't pay. If there are a couple of exemptions that have been given, so I think people maybe want to pursue that. It's in its way, if there's a democratic way of giving out those homes so that we don't have people on the streets of Nairobi and even other homeless people. I suppose we have some homeless people that we need to deal with in the cities. If that is going to get rid of that, if people are actually going to get homes, if it's going to make housing cheaper, those are legitimate problems this thing can solve. Yeah, if I know hot on the heels of that, there is also the social insurance for hospitals. So I just hope the money goes in the right place and there's a democratic way so that people don't feel ripped off. The problem is people are feeling ripped off. How can we sort it out? Is there a way that... Anyway, my opinion is I have no opinion. I've been around the bush.
Because I'm like, where? What is it?
Okay.
Maria?
Maria?
That's a good one. No, actually we are ripped. We are getting ripped off. Me, anytime that housing levy is concerned, I always say we are getting ripped off. Because we know very well that everyone is going to pay for that housing levy, but not everyone is going to get the home. And that's not a good thing. But then again, and another thing is not everyone also needs that home. That's true, because there are people who opt to just go to the villages and live there. I hope that does not affect me buying land in a remote village somewhere to just live there if I don't want to have the home. But then again, this is the point. When it comes to Kenya, this is the case that has always been there, and we don't want to admit, but it's true. This is another form of corruption, and we know that. It's more like we are going to get all of you to pay, but not all the money is going there, and accountability is not going to be there. We're just going to be paying, building houses, and because it was passed now, there's nothing we can do about it. And people are already struggling to divide that small paycheck that they have. Now you're forcing them to buy homes. And they don't even have enough paychecks for those homes. But they're all going to be forced now to still divide it to get the homes. When we know very well that that is not the only tax that was increased, and it's not making our life easier. Life is already expensive. Now we are going to pay for the homes that we are sure not all of us will get. And the procedure of even giving these homes is not going to be like you are going to be seated somewhere, you go to the offices and then they tell you, this building, house number, this is yours. That's not the case. So another form of corruption, we know that.
Let me say this. When it comes to the housing levy, here's the thing. Whenever you hear the president of Kenya saying, like it or not, this thing will pass. That, first of all, tells you that indeed the government has an agenda. And the agenda is theirs. Notice how he said, like it or not. So he doesn't care about you. He cares about his agenda. That's the first thing I even want to address that. That's a housing levy. The agenda is not for you. The agenda is for the government.
Who is the government?
The government is not the current thing that you guys voted for. See, remember you guys...
I thought we are the government.
I know.
Which one?
Which
We are the government.
one?
We are the ones who
and
voted,
by
so
the
we
people.
should be.
And also even...
Which
Who is the
government?
government?
Is it the government?
We are the government.
We are
Congratulations.
not.
Okay, listen. You have the... That's now...
But
you
we did
being-
not say like it or not.
Dr.
We are the
C.
government, but you did not say that.
You are not the government. You don't implement ways that housing levy is not being paid to you. It's coming from your pocket
It's
to
for the
the
people
government.
and by the people.
I
No,
love-
no, Dr.
in
C.
principle, in principle,
yeah.
And that
in
rules-
principle.
Don't be too, you are being academic here. Let's be real.
No,
Yeah,
you know, if you're going to mention the president, yeah?
Yes.
He's our president. We elected him and put him in that
You
office.
did.
Okay, we elected and we have to accept our own responsibilities. So the government, it's still by the people and for the people. So if you want to mention William Samoei Ruto, he's our president.
Yes.
And so unless you're saying that is his agenda, personal.
Yes.
Is that what
The
you
government,
mean?
here's also you have to take note. The government will also have its own agendas that it will actually execute with, no, because we contribute to a pool where the government actually now takes in, aka through taxes. That's what we give the government power over us. And now the actual improper implementation of that power through execution of their own agendas, that is where we can criticize the same government. So just saying that this is a government does not mean that we cannot criticize that government. No, it doesn't.
But
It
you
means that we
see-
should actually overly criticize the government. The moment you hear a government saying, this is the agenda and we're going to do it like it or not. Is that a government that's there for you? Or is that a government that's... What are you saying, by the way? What are you trying to say?
The argument here is...
No excuse.
No,
that is the problem. That is the problem of Kenya. That's the problem of Kenya.
It's not an excuse.
Relax, Simon. Relax.
Listen. The problem is that... And it's the exact problem that we have in Kenya, that we see the government as that thing there, and we see ourselves as us. The day we start seeing ourselves as that we are the government, by the people and for the people, then we are going to take our elections seriously to understand that it's not that thing they are called the government. This government is ours.
But let me tell you.
We are the ones who put it in.
Let me tell you that
we are the ones.
We are only important during that time. During that time of voting, that is when we have a say. During the voting, that is when we have a say. After that, whatever they come to do now is not... They are not even listening to us. We don't even matter anymore. They are just...
But those are the people you voted
or not at that time.
You voted them to make decisions for you. Mpende musipende. They have to lead.
Listen, Dr. C.
There is leading.
Dr. C.
Okay, go ahead.
Maria, relax. Relax. What you're discussing here, you're talking about the state, and I want us to differentiate between the state, which is you and I. We are members of the state.
We are not the government. For the people and by the people.
No. That is an election principle.
Who was that Russian guy who said it?
No. Let's get these things right.
Let's get it right. Go ahead, Studio.
There is the state. And that's why you hear, if you read many books, you'll see they tell you there's a state and there's a government and there's a fourth estate, which is the media. You understand?
Okay.
And I want us to be very clear in these things so that we do not confuse our audience. Now, the government is the people who, the state elects a government. We elect people to represent us. So we've elected a government. But that government has, the arms of the government. We have the executive, which now rules over and implements all these decisions. And one of the decisions, the executive, is this government we are talking about. And we are not part of the executive anyway. We will never be, as we are the members of the commoners down there. The government...
At election you are.
No, we've never been.
You voted them.
We vote, but your vote is at the end of the ballot. That's it. They exercise their duty on your behalf. But you cannot, the only thing you can do is recall. But have you ever had that opportunity to recall the president? You can't recall the president.
So Raila asked you guys, and if Raila has accepted...
You cannot recall. So now, this issue of... And my issue is very... My issue with housing finance, housing levy, is tied to the Financial Act, and is still tied to the agricultural e-teams and what Mount Kenya MPs are feeling. The other day you saw, and you would see, there's a lady called Mary Wamaua, the MP for Kandara, Marago actually, went and talked to the avocado guys, and the avocado guys realized they're supposed to pay tax. And they're like, the government had passed this tax increment on what we call the Produce Act tax, and also there are many other small taxes in between there. So people are feeling that the government is overtaxing them, especially the farmers. The farmer, you go and cultivate you planted this avocado 5 years ago. The government starts telling you now you need to give them money on the produce. They have not given you any incentive. They have not helped you, subsidy. They have not given you anything. They are coming to reap. So that's a problem there.
Can I say something about subsidy?
Yes.
To be really fair.
Yeah.
The other day I was sitting with my father, and he got these SMS, e-subsidy, go and pick your fertilizer.
Yes.
He went and he picked and he got it.
The fertilizer, you were not here last week when we were discussing the problem we have with our fertilizer today. It is substandard.
It may be
We
sand.
had an expose.
It may be sand.
It may be sand.
There was some sand in it. So listen, Dr. C, it is good that the government should do these things, and it is in the government's purview to do it. And we cannot tell you not to do your job. The government should provide incentive to the farmers. That's their right. But you do not, you have to ask yourself, a person with 10 trees or 15 trees of avocado, what is there to tax?
You're digging deeper into an empty pocket.
This man has outside his compound 5 or 6 trees. You're telling him to go to eat-ins to do what? Secondly, this housing finance you're talking about. Number one, you're telling guys, you contribute. I don't have a right to get that house. We are 4 of us in this panel today. You two get, and your husband and wife, the wife gets, the husband doesn't. And you cannot even get your money back. Tell us it is a tax. Tell us we will buy the house. But do not give us so many things. You see, the problem with this country is that we follow IMF and World Bank policies which cannot work for us.
Yes.
This housing thing, it is not for us. It is the IMF and World Bank. And since our president has just decided we are cozy with the World Bank, you are taxing even farmers' avocado. You are taxing each and everything. The truth is, this housing finance will be the biggest problem when couples will assume you're married. Your husband gets, you don't get. You want to move, the husband says you can't move. Family break up immediately.
No.
So I'll get mine, and then he'll go and get his. Anyway.
He doesn't get.
Anyway.
And the same government you're trying to defend because they're yours, that you're the government.
Yeah.
Which government?
Okay. Let me just make. Let me lighten the mood now. Let me lighten the mood. Yeah. So there is a guy who was fired.
Oh gosh, that's lightening the mood.
Yeah, I'm lightening the mood because the company was downsizing. Listen to how the mood is going to be lighter. Because the company was downsizing. Then a week later, the boss texts the guy and he's like, "Come and train the one that replaced you. Yes, at a fee, of course." So, Simon, would you take the offer?
That is, first of all, let me relax. That's not lightening the mood. That is crazy. That is intense. That's like even now we break up and then I tell you, "Who come teach my new one how to be a good proper wife like the way you are." That is.
But that's a compliment.
But no,
that's a compliment. I was better. You
go.
are now realizing I'm better. No, I won't go. But I'm saying that at least the boss realizes that he was an asset.
Here's the thing. Here's realistically even the case. A lot of times people do actually train people who the employer wants them to replace. Because eventually what they do is this. Because you have stayed so long in an institution, you are due a promotion. And hence you're viewed as a future expense. But if I can get someone who's going to be actually, I can put them back at the entry level and actually get a cutback on a certain salary discount, I can just have you train the person, and then I tell you, yes, we're spearheading another thing, and I give you the false impression that a promotion is due unto you. But now what happens is, train Simon, he's a new guy who's coming to whatever, there's new projects that we have on for you, and we want to actually now see if we can expand this. What happens is you train Simon, all right, cool then, you go, I tell you quote-unquote leave, and what happens is, oh, by the way, we've seen that indeed your job is a redundancy, and bam, you have been rendered useless. You see that's the process sometimes. Many people out here, yes, I'm sure have trained people to actually replace them in the very job that they are doing because they have overstayed in a certain institution for such a long time, and hence the employer views them as actually now a future expense that you do not want to incur, and hence they will cut on their profits. That is a real undercutting thing that happens in the corporate scene. And that is why even they will tell you that not everybody in your office is your friend if you view it as if they're trying to help you. So that's literally even the main thing is, you're basically training someone to replace you. So you better, literally anybody who's actually being told to train someone, immediately when you get that memo, find yourself another job very fast. And because now, immediately, because you should always know that your job has no loyalty to you. And why are you trying to be loyal to someone who's not going to be loyal to you in your time of need? That is a key thing that you should always have in the back of your head if you're currently employed in any job. That is a fact. When you move that way, you're more secure in yourself. So hence, even when they come and ask you to train someone else, you can do it willingly, knowing that indeed you have other streams of income. Because if you do it like that, then you have no stream of income. Where? You go back, go back home.
First of all, my mind was still stuck in
Let me
all those many apartments, especially in Eastern Europe.
Yes.
that were built for people. I'm still on the housing levy.
Yes.
Okay, and I just need to like really shift. First of all, I think the boss is just okay, because I suspect there's more to this story than we get. Yeah? The way I see it, I don't think this person was fired because of downsizing. Perhaps there were other issues. You know, you can be skilled and talented in whatever it is you're doing, but you could be having other liabilities. Maybe you're coming to work late, or maybe you have behavioral problems, you have attitude problems, you're a bad tomato. Yeah? So you could be, there are many reasons why you could be fired without notice. That is not to downplay your skill set. So it's not just the skill set that is keeping you at work. The work is a machine that needs to work. It's a machine that needs to be well oiled. And if you're the rotten tomato that is making, you have to be removed immediately, without even, let's deal with it without notice. I'd rather pay the court fines. But also, perhaps also this employer was not like really ready. One of the things I do when I can is to make sure for every job there's 2 doubles. For every job, there's somebody below you or parallel you who can do your job. Always, that is the insurance I think every employer must have, so that when you fire somebody, like that summary dismissal, the work can just continue as you replace. Yeah, so I must say that was a problem on the employer side. They had not like trained somebody who could take up immediately. And this person was fired for other things not related to the skill set. So it's okay, it's fair, all is fair.
Let me talk from the employee side. I think it's time people learn that in everything in life, you have to grow or outgrow. You'll either grow wherever you are or outgrow wherever you are. That happens in everything in life. And when you're working somewhere also, whether you are the best at it or you are, maybe you feel like I'm irreplaceable because at this time I have been here for years, I've been doing this, no one can come and take me. Just don't think that way. Think of a way that anything can happen. You can either grow that position or outgrow it, depending on who you are or what you're doing. And also, it's like every day skills change. It's like medics are told to renew their license all the time. Renew yourself in your workplace all the time, so that when it comes time for you to realize, oh, now I've outgrown this, I need something new, or I need to learn another skill, or I need to do something else, it will be easier for you to adjust and not feel bad when the time comes that it's time for you to move from that one place to the other. Because even these people that have run empires later in life, they may have been people who outgrew a certain position somewhere and they became someone bigger to even get to a point of running an empire. Don't cling on into one thing, because you never know where your future, what your future holds. Just learn to get more skill sets, learn to be flexible, and also learn to be aware that you can outgrow or overgrow the place that you are in.
Be fired.
Or you can
Yes.
be fired.
Without
too.
notice.
Anyway,
CEO, what do you say?
you see, my argument has always been that if this man had, or this person had an issue with work, then he can be let go. My issue is the company calling him back to train. That is totally bad faith. You see, when you're letting someone go, you didn't have the training department in your organization to deal with these issues. That is a bad faith. Let's look at bad faith. Where is the bad faith in the whole of this conversation? The bad faith is that the company has told you, you can go. I want to reduce my cost, which is fine. Companies hire people and reduce cost. And you look at your overhead and say, I'm paying this guy 200. I can get a guy, not the same quality, but who can earn 100,000, so that I reduce the wage bill. But then, when you're going to do that, make sure that the replacement is ready to go. Not you call the guy you have fired to come and train. Now assume this guy has access to sensitive documents about the organization. has your tax and all these things and any other thing which you do not want to be seen or heard out there, he will assume and come and easily come and agree to that offer to train. But the harm he will cause within your system and the bad energy he'll cause to other people and the bad vibe he'll create in the organization and culture. I've always said before, remember, and this is what we say, that culture eats strategy for breakfast. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. You bring that guy into your organization, that is already bringing that bad culture in your organization. And any strategy you have of growing that organization is eaten.
And that's key, because even what you mentioned about the letting go and then now inviting the person to even come back in.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
It shows even lack of even knowing that in-house you don't have someone who even upskills
what is the
individual.
structure?
Yeah, there's no proper laid down
Dr. C cannot fire someone and call, oh, now come and train. No, it can never happen.
Yeah, exactly.
It can never.
Yeah, that's true. You don't break up with your ex. You want them to come back and train you.
Train what?
Take
go.
us on a break.
What are they training? We will take a short commercial break and we'll be right back on Let's Be Real.
Welcome back. Of course, it's been interesting conversation going on, the housing finance, the avocado. Kama umepanda avocado, you'll pay tax, e-teams.
Because you have to be paid in e-teams.
Yes, in e-teams. Every Kenyan, you must have e-teams. Kama wewe ni mama mboga and you earn more than 1,000 bob.
Okay.
They're coming for you.
Yeah, e-teams. 1,000.
Hey,
yeah,
that's how serious
Everybody needs to pay tax.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Hey, you want everybody
I mean,
to
for
suffer.
all of us who are actually in the formal sector,
And
yeah,
informal.
there's people in informal. If all of us contributed, however small, perhaps our tax burden would reduce. The problem in Kenya is that there are people paying tax and then there are people not paying tax.
Yeah.
So if all of us contributed no matter what, maybe we'll stop over-relying. The dollar will come down to 60 shillings.
And we can all dream. You know, that's a very
It's
interesting...
not just a dream. Everybody needs to pay tax.
All right.
Everyone needs to pay
Dr. C,
tax. We
actually
need to rope in everybody. Everyone. Kila mtu.
Dr. C, everybody needs to pay tax.
Yes.
But the people who need to pay tax most are the big multinational companies who are tax exempted in this country.
That part.
Well,
He has spoken.
that you can say, and the moment is we are just trying to get them here so that we can be at par and they can offer employment.
But I think they are easy to
They are
access
moving
than
to
Mama
Tanzania.
Mboga.
They are already moving to Tanzania. I'm just saying,
yes.
all of us Kenyans, yeah?
Yes.
In fact, they said, how much do we owe per head? If all of us just, is it 65,000 per head? All our debt, like if all of us just got that money and paid. I'm just saying, we all need to pay tax to stop over-relying.
Okay, I see what
So we
you're
need to increase the tax bracket.
I see what you're saying. though.
Yeah.
The tax base has always been increased. My problem is not we are not talking of corporate. We are talking of companies who do not pay tax. And they're given
All those,
exempted.
like which one? Name a few.
We cannot name because of legal issues.
I get you.
But we know.
And they are easily accessed than Mama
Yeah.
Mboga.
And that's true. And even the one people who are actually even running away from Kenya, and many Kenyans will even go out there and even go to places like Saudi Arabia, and then they get the shock of their lives. Whoa! There's one Kenyan lady, she went there. Now she was actually even washing the dishes very nicely, doing her work, you know, as a domestic servant. Then all of a sudden, you see this big anaconda snake right there, a yellow one going right there, because it's the pet that the owner has. And that is something that real many Kenyans actually experience. And the funny thing is, even I did my own research, is that sometimes some Saudi Arabians actually view a pet snake as something exotic, as a symbol of actually prestige, as a symbol of actually riches. So that's something that it actually, yes, I keep an exotic pet. I keep something that normal people do not actually hold. You know, different cultures hold different things as a sign of wealth, as a sign of status. So yes, sometimes some reptiles, you out there, you're looking for a job, looking to escape the taxes that WC is talking about. Yes, you may go out there and you may see a snake in your domestic work. Having seen this, what do you have to say about this?
We call it witchcraft.
Is that
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we call witchcraft.
Some people keep that as a
Where I come
pet.
from, that is witchcraft.
Why?
It's just, you know, it is said that some people keep, there are some things that are known as domestic pets.
Yes,
Things
snakes.
like dogs, cats, you know, the ones ordinary mortals like us know. But the moment you start keeping things like snakes, leopards, I don't know what, you know, all these things,
Alligators.
that actually, alligators, whatever, then you're out.
You, Maria, what do you think? Is it witchcraft?
Okay, I don't even know what to call it because I don't see how someone can pet a snake. But the problem with people who go to Saudi Arabia is that they don't know what they are up to. You know, in Kenya, if you are looking for a job in Kenya, you will ask your employer, like, do you have pets? So I'll have the choice of, okay, you have a snake pet, thank you. I'll still keep looking. But now in Saudi Arabia, you went there, you don't even know where you're going, which family you're going to land at. And then you get there, it's a snake, and maybe that is your biggest fear. So even these agencies who take people from here and take them there to work, they should be aware of people's phobias, people's fears, and also they should
Full
be aware.
disclosure.
Full disclosure. The family you are going to sleeps with leopards. We need to know, so we don't need to go there and get surprised.
So, doctors, do you have a pet snake?
Listen, first of all, that thing reminded me of, if you watch the Iraq War, the general who was there, if you read his biography, Schwarzkopf, the American general, in his book, he writes that about his family. And he said in his book that he had a pet python. And in that book, if you look at when they're having dinner, the python runs like, they're eating and the python is lying on everyone. So, first of all, I ask myself, that's the general. It is funny that many people who are out there view what they call pets differently. Different, completely. But in African context, and I always say Africa is my business.
Because you're African.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That it is, first of all, that is witchcraft. You cannot invite someone's kid who we know our relationships with snakes in Africa and the snake bites and how many people have been killed from the snake bites because of lack of anti-venom in our hospitals. And then you invite this girl who has been taught from childhood to run away from these things, to be feeding it, washing it, and play with it. But this also reminds me, our dear President, Dr. Samuel Samoei Ruto saying that Kaptengelei. So you see what he says, Kaptengelei, dollar inaingia, he'll take you out there to go and do business and work. I think the guys who go and work out there must understand that the environment they're going is not as usual as our environment. The people they're going to deal with have a different culture.
Even food.
And when you walk in there, you must also sign a warrant for heart attack very easily. Because can you imagine you walking into a house and you're told, today you're feeding a python, something you've never seen in your entire life.
But I have something to say. Let me say something, yeah? I think even in Africa, I think it's a generational thing. Let me just say what I'm observing with my little girl, who's like 10, 11 years old. So the other day, I had to drain my pool and remove because it was leaking. So we had water accumulating and there was some frogs. So we were having frog. Yeah, so it was that now we need now to remove it and redo the pool. Yeah. And these kids started feeling sorry for the frogs. So it was mission, rescue the frogs. Let me tell you, it was the piece de resistance. Do you know how many families actually brought their children? Everybody was coming to my home.
To save frogs.
Let me tell you, yes. The frogs. Like the kids were so excited. And I'm just like, why are we finding it funny when even in high school we were operating on frogs? So it was a real big mission, Save the Frog. So the next day, so this thing started like on a Saturday. The next day, they were there to check, are they still in the new place where we transferred them? By Monday, even the children are telling their parents, can we go to so-and-so house to go and check if our frogs are still, yeah? So my daughter is the one who will actually even have a caterpillar, not caterpillar, which one? This one that changes the colors.
Tadpole.
Not the tadpole.
Chameleon.
The chameleon. Walk like that. She's not like really scared. So I think it's about the schooling, it's about the socializing, it's about the fact that you just want to save. Like, if the lizards have names, we have Hugo, so he asked me, Mommy, what should I name this other one? I said, call it Boss.
We agree with you.
Hugo Boss.
No, but it's true, right?
It's a generation.
Currently,
Yeah.
this generation, there's this notion of be gentle to animals.
Yes.
They are getting extinct, and then they are given examples like, they're dinosaurs, so just love this one. And that's why for them, I need a goldfish.
You have seen that with
Ladies
your
and
children.
gentlemen,
also.
Yeah.
I think you are talking about city kids.
Yes.
Let's be very clear.
Yes, because
Let's be very
But
clear.
it could be any child.
No,
It could be any child.
No. If you are brought up in the areas of this country where we know, Dr. C, you don't have such luxuries.
yeah, to even think such.
To think
Caterpillars
that way.
and
No,
chameleons are not
no.
luxuries.
We
They're
can-
everywhere. It is the
And
schooling,
this-
it's the indoctrination.
Yeah,
Listen.
right now, we
Are
are
you-
so,
are you
our
guys trying to
education
tell
is
me-
very...
Yeah.
How many Kenyans live in urban centers?
Not urban centers.
no,
it's just how we are bringing up the children.
No, it
It's
doesn't.
about bringing up.
It's not about bringing up children, Dr. C. It is how you are raised.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, but-
Semantics.
yes,
Me and you are
but-
saying the same
yes,
thing.
but it's not where you are raised in the village. The environment is totally different. You are a product of that environment.
Yeah.
You are a product of the environment. Your daughter is a product of Karen. My son is a product of Langata. In the village, in my village in Ugenya,
Where?
it's totally different.
And that's true.
Can you go
because
to snake park and hold a snake?
Who?
me,
You can't.
Which villages?
But right now we have a place whereby
In
we have
Northeastern
snakes.
where people
Let's
don't
go
have food.
put snakes in
Yeah.
our necks.
Well, let me,
Yeah.
let me,
And
let
they
me,
will pet the snake, and then they will be like, they will be.
Let me speak as me, because you guys are speaking now as me. How I was raised up, even they used to bring, in the States, they used to even bring from the zoo, the snakes. So that's why I'm not generally afraid of snakes like that. I used to bring like big pythons. Actually, they're similar to the size of the one that was brought. The whole class would actually stand in like a whole circular place, and one would hold the tail, the other one would be holding the head. And that was like a whole thing. That was like a whole thing that we were even taught. I acclimated to that. And then now here we pet the snake. It's like, it's okay, sign will be okay. Then you're guided through that whole process. Being acclimated to this thing as pets and everything. So when you say witchcraft, I think is more of what are you accustomed to and what do you associate
Yes.
this thing with? And recognizing that different societies have different things and that they actually hold as this is what we normally do. This is not what I normally do. Now, does that mean that I will keep a snake as a pet? No, I find no prestige thing to keep it as a pet. But I also see that I have known a friend or two who have actually even kept a snake as a pet. That's just their thing. But when that snake has ever left that cage and everything, it became a panic mode. So that's one thing I do not want. I do not want
But
anyway.
the kids of today are this gentle on animals.
Yeah, and that's why. Are you seeing the big divide between me and my daughter? Like
Yeah.
honestly, frogs are being saved. The lizards have names.
And I fear cockroaches.
Hugo Boss, we have Ludo. Like,
Yeah.
honestly. Anyway, talking of witchcraft.
Tell
or
us.
whatever it is we are talking about, the Princess of Wales has disappeared.
That's witchcraft.
I don't know. We can add to that. There are so many conspiracy theories, yeah? But let me just take it from the top and so to give this story context. A couple of months ago, it was announced that the Princess of Wales at Kate Middleton was to go to hospital. She was there for 2 weeks. And after that, it was announced that the earliest she will be available to meet the public and resume her royal duties would be after Easter, which is just next week, by the way. And then at the same time, the king was also in hospital. I hope he gets well very soon. Prostate cancer. And for some reason, for some very, very strange reason, everybody is asking, where is the princess? I don't know why people are not waiting until after Easter. So this whole thing started when a photo was from Kensington Palace was released. It was a Mother's Day photo. And then it was realized that it had been doctored. And then they recalled it back. All the major news agencies called it back. Now, from there, the story started. Some people are saying, oh, she might be dead. Others saying, oh, you know, these are apparent stories. We are not saying that they are facts. Apparently. Oh, Prince William has made the maid pregnant. Then there are sightings of her, body doubles. Why would the royal family actually have body doubles of William and Kate? Apparently it's not true. Major news sources have actually had to retrieve the stories, including TMZ. They've admitted it is not true. There's so many stories. Others are saying, oh, she had a body work on her face. Now she hasn't healed yet. Oh, they are divorcing. She's negotiating.
All of that.
What is happening? And I want to say, why is this important as a country for us? First of all, we are Commonwealth. This is the future king. Yeah? I'm wondering why they're having to lie. Why can't she just come out and say, hey, guys, this is me, I'm live. Like, tell us, number one. Number two, why is it very important, Emmy, as a fourth estate? Look, all the media houses, when she was getting married, I remember we flew to Mount Kenya, on top of Mount Kenya, to broadcast this wedding. Yeah, where the proposal happened, we all talked about it. Front pages were secured for these. We are always talking about it. All the TV stations were broadcasting the wedding. Yeah? And why is it important? We are in the Commonwealth. Guys, what do you think is happening?
Hey, my conspiracy theory hat, let me put it on.
Don't have another one.
And the main
news.
thing is this. When it comes to, one thing I've observed is that whenever you release that fake picture was the first fault. Because it was meant to portray everything is okay. There's nothing going on here. Don't look here, look the other way. To maintain a level of faith, maintain face, right? And that's what these royalties, you know, the number one thing that they praised, she passed away, Queen Elizabeth?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, she recently passed away. What's the number one thing that she was proper, she maintained decorum, she maintained a sense of, she maintained the crown, maintained a certain purview to the public because of the way she carried herself. And she carried herself with a sense of justice, in a sense of royalty to some extent, right? And that is something that shoves down this royalty cocoon. And now what they want to do is maintain that clean image. Whenever you want to maintain a clean image and dirt is thrown a little bit, and now people see the falsehood in your lies, what happens is they start being cracks and crevices. And I actually even think that they would prefer that more conspiracies are out there, because rather than actually telling the truth. Because the more falsehoods are out there, the truth gets hidden. And they would rather say, you guys are full of conspiracies, rather than the actual truth, which may be even worse. So even sometimes the narrative of conspiracies and lies is a strategy that's employed by people in power to actually allow the lies to flourish. Why not? Allow them to flourish when you know the truth is going to come out there. Then, of course, they're going to come up with a little painted decorum of them together in the park or something. Something just picture painted very nicely, and then all of a sudden everything is debunked, when inside those conspiracies there might have been some truth that's actually hidden. Just so you know, you can hide the truth in a bunch of lies. So sometimes when your haters are out there telling lies about you, allow them. Then you come out there and you allow it to sizzle down. And then the truth will eventually just now, and then no need for the truth, just allow a different story to come on later on when now the things have sizzled down. Because we'll talk about it this week, but next week is Easter, we'll move on to other things.
But you do realize, sorry guys, you do realize, yeah, Prince Harry, who said, guys, I'm done. You remember that when he was escaping from Australia in a private hired jet to America, it was almost like a rescue mission for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. And in his book, he says, you know, these people would rather tell lies about the future king and Kate Middleton, like they would rather lie for them than tell the simple truth about Meghan and Harry. And now for me, I'm just like, could it be, you know, there's conspiracy theories about the death of Princess Diana. Yes,
Still
there's
on,
that.
yeah.
Right now, you know, there's no Meghan anymore to lie about. And as a black African proud woman, I'm just like, wow. Now, Meghan is no longer there. Now, you guys, is it possible you really are what they say you are?
Yeah, they are.
They're actually on panic
Like-
mode right now. Right
Yes.
now, the royalty is on panic mode. So what they are doing is, there are so many stories, but now their main issue is when the truth comes out, the picture perfect that we wanted to portray will not be there. And even worse, Harry and Meghan will be right.
Yes.
And if there's anything that they don't want to happen is that Harry and Meghan being right, because they defended themselves, making them look bad. They wanted to have a reason to disown them. Like,
Yes.
we had a reason. Look, this is what was happening. And now, that perfect, you know, Kate was portrayed as now the perfect
love
princess. Like, she was the perfect princess.
Yes.
And now she's the one coming out with this situation. So right now, it's really hard for them. And she's somewhere, and when the truth comes out, the royal family is going to be so sad that Harry will
might even
be right.
the end
Not really.
of the no. You know, they've lost the.
Do you want
public
it,
goodwill.
would you ever want it to end?
No, I don't want it to end.
You
I love them. I love them. Like this.
Me
I'm just
too.
saying,
You only have to
Kate,
say
I actually do love that. That setup was unique.
You know,
CEO, go ahead.
first of all,
I'm just sad about the situation.
No, because I know whatever that will come out after that is going to be portraying them as the bad and not Harry and Meghan, and that's the worst.
Which is a win for everyone.
Which
a
is a
win
win
for
for-
us, black African women.
Yes.
It's a win for us.
But you don't want
anyway,
it to come
I
out.
personally, I do not like.
You even look tired.
I do not like the royalty. I do not like the colonizers.
Thank you.
I do not like people who came to Kenya and robbed us.
Amen.
Look, we are trying to heal, CEO.
This royalty thing is a sham. It should have ended 18th century. Where in the world order do we still hold to the traditional relics of a world order?
But they still do.
The crown is a traditionalist relics, something we should have been disbanded long time ago.
So let me
Long
give you the
time ago.
statistics. So let me give you the statistics.
Go ahead.
Okay?
Yes.
I understand what you're saying. The statistics are that the royal family, there's some of us who really, really love it. Like, we are not British. I'm just
You love the
a
prestige.
Kenyan. But no, not the prestige. I love.
Me, I just love the setup.
I love the setup. I love, you know, one of the reasons I actually love being Roman Catholic, because I love the decorum that comes with it. You know, like when the
But they're
Pope
not
died,
Catholics.
whatever.
Then-
No, I'm just saying.
Okay.
But remember, the king or the queen of England is the head of the Church of England.
Yes.
We all know how it started, okay?
Yeah.
Right? That's not what we're talking about. We're just saying, during the wedding, you know how they are relevant. Do you know how much the royal family contributed into the British economy, into the world economy? Just the wedding alone. So they still have that part that they are playing. Yeah?
Okay.
There is a decorum, there is the kings everywhere in the world. Just because you lost your king doesn't mean everybody wants to lose their
Listen,
king.
Dr. C,
Like Nabongo Mumia, we're trying to
we
revive.
appreciate what you are liking for this
What am I even saying?
setup.
What if we revive?
But the truth is that the royal family has had its challenges. It's a modern world. They thrived because initially the world was not flat. And I think you've read The World is Flat. The world was not flat where news could penetrate and go out quickly and faster. So they always did so many things, good, bad, ugly. They were hidden and they could not come to the public purview for a very long time because it was easily controllable. You could control the people who access them. The pictures were not as strong. The media was not as strong as it is now. The digital fragmentation had not reached the levels it has reached. Now there's a lot of things which has happened and people can access even that information. From Diana, Meghan to now. The royal family has always had problem in relationships.
That's true.
Charles and Diana had an issue. And on the side, Camilla Bowles was always there. It is an arranged marriage. All these things we know. The biggest problem the royal family has faced and will face is either cheating in the couples or family problems. It will always be there. Because these people, they end up and you hear, there's always a scandal inside there of sex, which they're trying to hide. And when they hide it...
There's actually a sex doll.
Say what?
If it's about sex, there's a sex doll.
For the royal family?
No, buy it online.
Oh, hey,
My goodness.
And that's some serious stuff. Because
Why would that bring
No,
the royal
but even
family?
in normally,
Because-
even right now in every setup, there is those scandals.
Yeah,
I
but
guess-
you
So
see,
there-
the problem with the royal family scandals is that when Meghan was getting married to Harry, what was the problem? She's black. When Diana had a relationship with Dodi Al-Fayed,
What was the problem? He's Arab. And
Arab.
here she was pregnant.
I want to tell you why there's a problem. And these are key problems. The royalty of the crown has to be white, blue-eyed Caucasian
German.
that's their
and
value.
German.
That's their
German.
value.
Very
and
important.
German. Remember that the crown, the German order, and the Russians are cousins.
Yes.
All the royal families in Europe are related. They marry cousins.
So all of you who hate Putin,
So you
that's the
cannot-
reality.
That's wild.
They marry cousins.
It's not
They are
why,
one
it's
family.
the truth.
That's a real thing.
Yes, that's the truth.
That's what their values are.
That's how that's the value is. So
But-
for me, it's a relic of an old order. I do not care whatever they want to do. If they want to go and hang each other, they can as well go hang each other.
even I agree with you.
Until one phone call to IMF,
I get
you are paid the housing
But wait,
levy,
wait. Even-
and then you begin to care.
even before
Yes.
that,
Right?
even
Yeah.
Maria, even when it
When I
Uh-huh.
speak, that's when you care.
You know, listen.
They are not
do you
Americans.
remember when Uhuru was being during the constitutional installation
yes.
as the presidency?
Yeah.
I saw all these Toyotas, all these Chinese cars, and I was like, what happened to the iconic Land Rover? Okay, you may not have realized that they're actually back.
No, but-
Okay?
Yes, but that
Yeah,
one,
so there are powers that be.
listen,
And those powers that be will influence whether you're going to pay this housing levy or not.
listen.
So we need
Dr.
to care,
C,
right?
Let me just
Right.
tell you one fact that the royalty does not have anything to do with us that much.
Or they will not sign it, but
No.
they will canvass behind
Listen,
Uko.
even
What you see on the table is
Do
not
they
what you
really not
see.
have anything
They
to do?
canvass.
they have nothing.
Let me tell you,
Listen,
if Prince William lands today at the airport, where, tomorrow you're going to have it as your headlines, news flash.
I'll put it.
All the newspapers. It was even then, was it Lewa? They said the cat was sighted at Lewa Dam.
For me, I'll do it for.
Yes.
I'll,
It
do
is
it for
conspiracy theory.
I'll do it for sales. I'll do it
Yes.
for sales, for my numbers.
That's it.
And other
But-
people are doing it for the monarchy.
No, there is no money there, Dr. C.
Oh my God.
It's an old relic.
Call it all the way you want to call it, but there's canvassing
And by
that
the way,
goes
let
behind,
me let me tell you guys. Do you know for sure that the monarchy does not have any say about the financial implication of the World Bank? And you can read.
They have
Of course
influence.
it doesn't.
No,
on paper.
I want to tell you.
On
and
paper
IMF
it doesn't, right?
No, for a fact.
But you know life is about networks. Nobody needs to say. If I wanted to say to sit on your board, I would really target, canvas, and talk to the right people. Everyone knows. This is how you, like everybody knows there's canvassing. There's what you see, there's a public view, and there's a private view. Says who? Hillary Clinton.
Hey, this conversation can go
No,
on.
anyway, you can go
Yeah,
on, but
yeah.
I've just I just say
No,
that.
I'm just fascinated by how they are arguing.
Yeah,
I'm just
I care
saying,
less.
there's powers that be.
It's fascinating
I'm saying
because
there's powers that be
CEO
that don't
knows-
need to announce them.
CEO
I'm
knows
just
what
shocked.
Britain has on us.
Yeah, I
He
know.
knows.
I know the deals we have with Britain.
And then
And then what's your problem?
what's
And
okay?
the deals we have is only military, and we can name them.
Oh, military.
There's
So-
nothing about
And that's not
monarchy.
that's why we
of
care
course.
about.
Guys,
Of
we have
course,
we're
we
trying
care
to
about the
keep
Prince of England.
And that's why we care about
All
the
right,
king
we get it,
visiting
we get
as
it,
much.
We get it. We've kept it real, and you guys have kept it real with your parts. And we understand you
Yeah, I
guys
don't
care about this.
understand.
But we must wrap
I'm
this
just
up.
shocked.
CEO, we must
Why
wrap
do
this
I
up.
feel like the
Because
We
we
must
don't
wrap
do
this
Kenya
up.
again.
This is it. We must wrap this up. This is a
Anyway,
conversation.
we need to find the princess. I had Kim Kardashian has already said we need to go and find the princess.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm joining in. Anybody seeing, if we can cite her anywhere.
You
Maybe
said
she may
somewhere
be
in
cited
Kenya, somewhere in
Karen.
Kenya.
Me, I cited somebody like her in Karen.
Okay.
Anyway, let's end it there.
The citing